Hello. Oh, I'm gonna turn my desktop audio on so we don't not hear the game. I didn't think about the update today. So we have a short stream. And I'm kind of annoyed about that. I didn't even think. So we have like a half stream. A half stream. I'm like beating myself up over that. I literally was like, oh, I'll open PALIA. I'll open PALIA before I start the stream. So I'd have to like mess my OBS up because when I move my OBS out the way on the screen to go to Paleo that's behind like the OBS, messes the whole thing up. So I'm like, I'll open it before. And then I saw the message. I was like, I saw this yesterday. Why did I not realize? Yeah. There's a patch in about an hour and a half. So we are only going to probably be live until then. Until the game kicks me out. But that's fine. That is fine. I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad. I'm a bit mad, but we're not gonna complain anymore. We're done. We're done complaining. So I wanted to do like plushie hunting, which we're gonna try. We don't have long, obviously. I can also unplug my phone because no matter how much battery I have, it doesn't really matter too much because we are not gonna be live that long. It kind of hurts. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of hurts. I always stream at the wrong time. Every time I plan on streaming, Paley is like, ha. But every time. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they do that. So, we're just gonna try. We're gonna try. We don't have very long. But it's okay. At least I'm still alive. Okay, I could have said, hey, I'm not gonna stream. Because it's only an hour or so. I'm here. I'm still here. Plus, a stream is a stream. We could go and play something else for like an hour, but I don't really think there's really anything I want to play right now. I just wanted to play Paleo. It's okay. I wonder if what the update is though. I'm confused as to what the update's gonna be. Because so far we've had like a hotfix, and then we had another hotfix, but this one doesn't seem to be a hotfix. Everyone's saying it might be like an hour. If it was a hotfix, it wouldn't be an hour. That's not hotfix. That's like, we want the frogs gone. This is like, I feel like they might even take the frogs out of the game at this point. Or like stop the honey lures or something. I don't know if they would do that. It sounds kind of extreme. But I feel like they might. Because if they can't find what's going on, they're gonna have to take it out, right? In their eyes, it's like, you know, it's not, we're not cheating. It is an exploit. It's a type of cheat, I guess. But in their eyes, they don't like it. So I guess they're just gonna get rid. I don't know. They haven't said anything anywhere. Like, the last thing in Discord was not about this. Maybe I missed it, but so far, like, there's nothing that I can see in Discord. Hang on. Oh my god, I can't do anything with my left hand. There's nothing in here at all. Yeah, everyone else is saying, okay, everyone else is saying the same thing. They didn't even realize that there was any update. It was just because of the starting soon screen thing. So it looks like we have a mysterious update they haven't even announced globally. It's just in game. A little bit weird, but it's fine. So I'm not gonna carry on talking like this. We're gonna get into game because I need to play before the game actually kicks me out. Ooh, and we need to travel back home. Because I haven't played since yesterday. I got right off the game and like, what did I do? Pretty sure I just got off the game and like, got changed to go to the cinema and that was it. So, I haven't logged back in yet until now. I should have actually downloaded my VOD yesterday and got it ready to go up. Because I've just realized I might have a VOD one up today and I didn't even tweet about it. I am actually terrible. Yep, I am terrible. Every time I don't tweet about it, it's my own fault. I can't complain. It's my own fault. How much money do I have right now? Okay, we can sell some stuff then. So, I don't need any of this, right? Did we save any of the, Quick, where do I find it? Is it on here? Oh, we need some of these, right? Oh no, these are just... We don't need all these. I'll keep, like... I'll keep that much. But we're selling the rest of these. Because I don't need it. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna get rid of them. I don't need them. I'm gonna open these quickly before everything goes. See what I get. Nothing. I got nothing. Okay, well, we can keep that so we can put it in the feeder. I was gonna, like... Honestly, before I started streaming, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and buy a bunch of stuff. We're not buying anything because I don't have time to be doing that. So we are just gonna go and fight the Ogopoos. And I say fight, I mean it. I mean it. Like, we are fighting them. Because it's not a fair fight. They're the ones spitting... What is it? What is it called? Is it called, like... I have no what it's called. Is it like a slime? They're the ones spitting slime. Ooh, we need to find the Hassian. Okay. Because I don't think I have enough to be doing this. No. Okay, where is Hassian? I'll go find him. And then we'll see. We'll see. Also, I kind of forgot to tweet the stream thing, like, this morning. It went straight over my head. I completely forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I need to, like, tell people I'm actually streaming today. Nope. Didn't do that. So... That's a little bit annoying. I was like, oh, I missed out on everything today. My mind is not with it. It's probably a good idea that the stream's going to be shorter then. But it's fine. Is the... Okay, they're not doing the update today for the Marjorie Market or anything. Like an hour for that? Although, I'm saying an hour, but we don't actually know how long. Okay. I'm going to fast travel there. We don't have time to mess around. Either way. Okay. Yeah, like, we don't actually know how long the update's gonna be. We're just assuming. I'm just looking at what other people are saying. Because right now, it feels like it's the frog situation that we're dealing with. That's what it feels like. So, if it's gonna be the frogs, I wouldn't be surprised if it's down for like a little while. Maybe not hours, but like an hour, if not 2. You know, just make sure anything they remove doesn't break the game. Okay. Should we go this way or this way? Let's try the deep wood. Let's try the deep wood and see how that works. Maybe. That could work. Okay, we need to... Oh, never mind, hang on. We gotta go back. We gotta go back. In fact, I need to go home. Why am I going back? Oh, God. Guys. Guys. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Go home. I need to do my... This is why I wish I could carry repair kits without them being in my actual inventory and them being in, like, my other pouch. I feel like them being in my normal inventory, I just don't bring them with me, and I just forget to like... Ugh. It's okay, though. Because we have this, it isn't too big of a deal. And, like, when I'm here, I can just do this, but it doesn't let you do it otherwise, and it's a little bit annoying. Okay. That's all we needed. That was all I needed to do. Alright, let's go back. We'll try in the deep wood and see what it's like. I mean, it might not be as good as, is it Mavis Way? The other place where the Ogopoos are? We probably won't have time to even do any relic stuff today. Why am I here? Did I click the wrong one? I've just spent like 200 gold fast traveling. I hate myself. Yeah, the relics today probably just what happened. Not with us only having like an hour. We'll do them Friday. If I don't stream on Thursday, we'll do them on Friday. But, I mean, honestly, like, I'm not gonna be live tomorrow, which is a little bit annoying because obviously I need to do my uni work. That takes priority, but it's just annoying because I thought we were gonna have like a good stream today and now it's only a half stream. That kind of kills me a little bit. Okay, where are all the Ogopoos? Oh, there's one over there. Hello. You mind if we fight? See, I don't feel like these are too difficult. They're definitely annoying. No, they are very annoying actually. Never mind, I take back what I said. I take back what I said. They are kind of annoying. They're not the worst though. I feel like chappers are harder to get. I just want the cute little plushie though. I think it's adorable. So if we find one before the end of stream, I'll be impressed. I will be impressed. In fact, I don't actually know where they spawn. Is it just on this little bit here? Is it like not worth doing it? What? What was that? I don't know where they really spawn around here because I've never really looked for them. Pretty much like when I'm over here, I ignore the Ogopuu. So maybe this isn't the place for them. There's only one. Okay, maybe we go... Maybe we go to that other place. We need to get up this way. Ah, that's how we do that. I was like, hang on. Every time I do this, I get lost. Nope. That's why. I get lost because I don't climb up that little bit. Yeah, the game's got me feeling a little bit under pressure now that we don't have much time. I don't like it. I wanted to do plushie hunting. I might play off stream when the game's back up in that case because I don't want to go live and then go live again. I don't know what chance there's gonna be that the game stays down for like only an hour or so. You know, like I don't want to be like, oh, I'll keep going live. Like we'll stay live. Like it'll be fine. And then the game's down for like 3 hours and we just sat here talking. I don't think that's a good, a good idea. And I also feel really bad when the game isn't even open. We're like streaming under the category and I'm just like, oh, we're not even playing the game. Does that count? Or do I have to say I'm like just chatting? You know? Like, how do I go about that? So I don't know what we'll do. We'll see what happens because when the game does go down, they're gonna have to tell everyone it's down. I would assume. Even though they haven't announced the update properly, like they're gonna have to tell people. We'll see what they say at like in like an hour. We'll see what happens. And then we'll decide. We'll decide after that. Oh, they're all over here and they already got scared. Oh, there we go. That worked. Thanks, friend. We got a sticker pack. Do we save them? I think we save them. I think we save them because I feel like that is going to be much more fun to do. Save them and open them all at the end. Or if I forget, we have to open them tomorrow. So, like, after the update comes back up. No! I forgot. Oh, thank God. I don't know why I picked that up. I don't know why I picked that up. I didn't need it. Okay. Back to it. I think we just go around in a circle. Oh. No. Oh God, I can't. Oh no. Oh no. Why does it do that? Every time I hunt, it bugs out and doesn't let me... It doesn't let me change my ammo. It's very irritating. Got it, friend. Where'd he go? Oh, he went back up for that way. Okay. I didn't see him. Wait, I had food? Did I have focus just then? I sworn I heard it just like dip. That's a little odd. Hi. Give me a plush. Give me a plush. No. The only plush I've actually found while actually trying to find them was, I think, the Sherna? I think it was an elder one. I think that's the only one I've actually found, and I found two at once. So since then, I haven't really found much. It's just been like that. Literally, I think. Pretty sure that's actually the only thing that I've managed to find, so. I don't know how much luck we're gonna have with these ones. I mean, I'm doing good with these scales right now. Look at all these emerald ones. I'm not doing terrible with that. I'll take it. I'm gonna have some luck. At least it's gonna bring me money, even though I don't really need it. Like, I was gonna sell a bunch of stuff, and then we were gonna start hunting for like a couple hours, but I don't really want to do that in case we just waste time. Because it's kind of a bit of back and forth between Kilmer and stuff, and we'll leave that. If I do that, it will probably be on Friday. Unless I do it off stream. Because then on Friday we can start doing whatever we want straight away. Which will probably be this. We'll probably just come back to doing this because I had planned doing this for quite a while. And I forgot that I can't do it for more than an hour. Had I realized, actually, we could have gone live earlier, but you know, we don't look at things, we ignore them. We ignore things and then we complain. It's fine. But I don't know what the chances are for finding these. I think the chances for the plush in Elderwood are just the same as Bahari and things, so it's not much different. Which doesn't give me much hope. Like I said, I've either found none or two at once. So it's a little bit of a weird RNG. And we spent like, was it like almost 2 or 3 hours yesterday doing schmalls and not one plush. We got some stickers, which is nice. But we didn't find any plushies at all. So I wonder if we'll find any today. I've also just realized, are we only getting like the skin and the scales from the original Ogopoos? I'm gonna assume the other ones don't give anything. Way back. Hello. Give me a scale, give me a scale, give me a scale. No! No! I didn't get one. Okay, the wave backs are like worth it if you get something out of it. Otherwise, they're ridiculous. You know? Like, so difficult to kill, and they just like run away like crazy, and then I'm just like, yeah, not giving me anything. No plush, no scale, no nothing. Ah! I'm missing everything. No! Don't you dare. It blocked me! Are you kidding me right now? It blocked... The other one blocked me. I feel like this is why I need to get the 4th bag. Because it's gonna help with this situation. Ah. Oh well. We go back around this way now. It's a lot easier to find them over this way. A lot easier. Although, I'm gonna say that. And then none of them are gonna spawn. Oh. Hello. Okay, we're almost an hour out from the update, and I'm kind of surprised that we still haven't heard anything. Are we in trouble? I say we, but I didn't contribute to this last glitch, so... You know, it's not my fault. Not my fault. I'm not taking any credit for the current one. Hello, Liz! How's your day been? Did you remember that there's an update soon? Because I didn't. And now I look silly because we only have like an hour. In an hour? Yeah, did you remember though? Did you just like forget like me? I logged in just before starting stream and was like, got a frogs fast. Are you logging in to do that? Is that what you just came online for? I love that. So this morning, I completely forgot until I logged in. I was like, no! I'm literally about to start stream and there's like an hour left. I'm so annoyed at myself. Is it for the Magi market? Because isn't the market already there? Because there's people there. I saw on someone's stream that there were people already at the market, so I'm kind of a little bit like... Got a load up of money? Yeah, I don't. And I'm not doing these glitches again. I'm joking. I will if there's a new one. Because it was fun. But the frog one, I'm just not doing it all anymore. Because I wore it out. I wore it out. And now I have nothing to sell. Like, I can't sell anything, really, because I just hit gold. Gold max every 2 seconds. If I knew that there was going to be... That made the server glitch like crazy. If I knew there was going to be an extremely easy way to get money every 2 seconds, I would go and do it now, but it's something they're probably just going to take out. So I kind of feel like we have to just like leave it. It's fine. It is, but I mean the frogs will be gone. Okay. Well, can they like make them a little bit easy to find so that we can still get them, just not like stupidly, right? Hopefully it's not like the hardest thing to find. The people that haven't even come here yet are gonna struggle to find those frogs now when they get rid of the glitch. So, but yeah, I mean, we're literally just Ogopuu hunting because I want to get plush, and we got none. We got none yesterday from the shrooms. Oh no. No. No! No! Oh my. No, for me either. It's so annoying because all I have is like the only ones I found. I've only found like 2 plush myself, and that was on my like first stream when I was like, hey guys, I don't really have any plushies, and all of a sudden the game gave me 2. I had double drop. Since then I haven't found one. I don't think. I could have, but I don't remember it. So far no luck, but I think someone said it took them 4 hours of constant schmoll hunting to get 1 plush. So like, am I an hour too short on the streams to make it work? I don't know. Is that a trick? A 4-hour hunt? Because that sounds kind of insane. I don't know if I want to do that. 4 hours? Maybe like if I watch a film. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. That's way too long. That's what I'm thinking. But if I have a film. If I have a film to watch. Maybe I could do it. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like it would take too much effort. It was like the frogs. I did it for 5 straight hours when I wasn't streaming. So, hello! Are you on your break? I hope it's not too much of a drag today. We're coming in with the dad jokes. You're ill? Oh, I feel terrible now because I sent you that TikTok. I feel terrible. That's why. Oh, that's why you woke up so weird. I was like, why is he up at 3? Did I like wake him up or something? But then I realized I sent it at like 11. So I'm assuming you were asleep before I sent it. And then you woke up in the middle of the night and saw it. Just an explanation. It was just a live stream of the AMAs, the American Music Awards. I don't know why it sent to you. It was probably just like, you know, when you take a picture of something random and you didn't mean to take a picture of it? It's like that, I think. I was getting ready for bed, and I must have just, like, pressed the screen randomly, and it just, like, sent it to you. Food poisoning. 12 times? What did you eat? What's the culprit? Was it, like, something you made, or did you buy something? Ooh, takeaway. Yikes. I'm letting you try and get it, friend. Thank you. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm very particular with takeaways. If I'm gonna get one, I'm not gonna get it from just about anywhere now. My mum kind of like installed that on me though. she like made me conscious of it. So I'm not the kind of person to order a takeaway from just about anywhere. I'm like, because, like, I'm funny enough with food on my own. Like, I'm not gonna cook chicken and trust myself. And never mind trust someone else, you know? So I finished yesterday when Barrel had a sharp pain in my stomach right now, but I haven't ate for 2 days. You're gonna waste away. You're gonna waste away. Hopefully it goes away soon. Ugh. I've only had food poisoning maybe once or twice. Not nice. Not nice. Make sure to drink water though. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna catch them. Water and digestive biscuits, my mum would say. Something like that. Or like plain toast. Ugh, I remember the digestive biscuits from when I was a kid. Every time you're ill and you don't want to eat, she's like, you have to eat something. Eat the biscuits. And now I hate digestives. Going back to work tomorrow, but it's not a nice feeling. At least I go away 2 weeks tomorrow. Oh, hopefully everything works itself out then. But 2 days of it. Yeah. At least you do have a couple of weeks to like get yourself back to normal. Where are you going though? 2 weeks? Go away 2 weeks tomorrow. Anyway, nice. Let me dream about it. All I want to do right now is personally go to the seaside, and that sounds really lame, but I'm just like excited for summer at the seaside, like just like eating chips. That's all I want to do. It sounds really lame, but I guess we're 21. Are you going to Ibiza? Is that how you say it? I don't know if that's how you say it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where you're going. I literally know someone that's there right now. She's older than me. She's not 21, but... Are you trolling me right now? Are you trolling me? If you can hit the other one. No, you got one though, I think. I don't want to lose them, but I don't want to take them for everyone. It's a real place. I don't trust you that that's a real place. I've never heard of that. You could say that about anything. Wouldn't it have to be somewhere like I could guess if you were saying it like that? I don't know. I don't know if I trust you or not. Can't wait to prove you wrong. It's not about prove me wrong. I just don't trust you when it comes to things like this. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to like America tomorrow. I'd be like, and then you'd be like, no, I'm dead serious. I'm going to America. I'd be like, I will look that up when I end stream, just in case you're actually taking a mic. Because I don't want you to see it. That's too satisfying for you. I'm not doing it. I don't know geography. I failed geography, so don't judge me. Wait, we were finding all of the emerald. And now we're not finding any of them. What's that about? I found 3 and now I found none. It's a PALIA day if that helps. Well, I kind of assumed that when you said, guess where a 21-year-old would be going. That kind of gave that away. I just thought you'd be like Ibiza or something. Give me a scale at least, please. I feel awful when I'm hunting. I feel like I don't want to take away the loot from everyone else, but if I'm gonna lose it, I'm like, I'm gonna give you a second to try, but I don't want to use like 3 arrows and then you rock up and try and shoot it once and you miss and then it goes away. Like, if it's a Chinook, it's fine. No! Like that. Oh no. Okay, it's been... Okay, we're at 3:38. The update's at 4:38. There is no mention of this update. I am very confused. I'm very confused. I'm very concerned. They didn't tell us anything when they did the last hotfix. They were just like... They were being very, secretive, but they used an emote. So it's kind of obvious. So I'm kind of like... They're being secretive again. It's gotta be the frogs. Right? It's gotta be the frogs. I don't know though. Like, okay, Moose just went live. Moose? Miss. Miss. I keep calling him Moose. Miss just went live. So, like, people are still going live at like their regular time. What are we all playing? Is everyone else planning on playing something that isn't PALIA? He sent me a picture of that. Oh. It actually is real. It actually is real. Didn't expect it to actually be real. Fair enough. I forgive. I'm sorry. I just don't trust, like, these places to be real. I failed geography with, like... For reference, I pretty much got the lowest possible mark that you can actually grade something for in the old GCSE format. The lowest you get is unmarkable, which is 0, but I got just above that. I got a G. So, can you blame me for not thinking that somewhere's real? Whoever comes out of my mouth in the future won't believe me. I believe you with things that are believable, but when you say you're going to somewhere I've never heard of, I'm just going to assume it's made up. You do it all the time. I can't help it. It's your fault for being a troll. I love it. I do. But it is your fault. Can't blame a girl for not trusting it. It's been like this for, what, how long now? Like 4 years? 5 years? 4 years. No, you made that one run. I wonder if we'll actually get a plushie today or not. We have less than an hour now. Are we gonna get one? Oh, you're stuck. Oh, we've used so much of my bow. What is going on? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Come back. Thank you. These guys are so annoying. Like, just give me your plushies, please. You're like annoying, but you're cute, so you can get away with it. But it bugs me that you're so cute. I also feel like if we'd have had more time, I might have used one of those potions. I might have used one of those potions. Oh my. No. No. Oh my god. You're going to IB? No, he isn't. He's going to somewhere I've never heard of. So I didn't trust it to be real. And now I'm mean. Like, I've never heard of that place. How do I even say that? Ayanapa? It sounded like a troll in the moment. Got to made up play the call into this girl. You know, all those years ago when we first played together, I really didn't think this is how we would end up. That's the funniest part about it. You would never have trolled like this when we first started talking. Like, when I first talked to you, we were both as bad as each other and so awkward. And now you're just like... You troll so much that I don't believe anything you say anymore. It's a place. I know it's a place, but I don't know that. How am I supposed to know that? I failed geography, remember? Failed geography more than, like, well, not even more than once. I didn't even get a second try. Because I was 17 and I'm 22 in a month. Yeah, but it was so funny because, like, you think about it. How old was I? I don't even remember how old I was. Wait, if you're 22, you were 17, that's 5. I was only 20, right? I was the most awkward person back then. I'm still awkward. I was still awkward, but back then, I was way worse. I think everyone can probably agree on that. But that was just so funny. Like, look, think back to then and think it now. I think it's hilarious. Oh, I got stuck in the whirlpool. Has it been that long? Yeah, I know. Like, ugh. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. No, it's actually insane, like, how long it's been, because that was COVID. It was like during COVID, like, fully during COVID. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's been that long that I'm old now. Have you put me 4.5 years? I don't know. I'm kidding. It has been insane, I'm not gonna lie. Like, how, like, to know you for that long is just ridiculous. I can't even think about how many seasons of Fortnite that is. Oh my god, don't you dare. Thank you. Wait, when it even is the market? I don't even... Oh, look at all this. Look at all of this. What is this? There's too much going on. And I don't even need any of this. But, like, I have tickets. I should probably go spend them while it's open again. I probably should be spending them. In terms of, like, the stream, I'm actually gonna just try and go till the game kicks me out. Or these friggin' things make me freak out. I love how they run, I do. But I'm just like, can you calm down for like 5 seconds? Look at that. You're like time traveling or something? Oh. You have to be kidding me again. They use like... Okay, am I using the wrong boat? Like arrows or something? Because like explain to me why they keep doing that. It makes no sense. 22nd season knowing each... 22nd? Hello? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That really does put it into perspective for me. Personally. You went to see Lilo on stage last night. Lilo just had the purple ray t-shirt. That was like the first thing you said. You like looked at me like, oh, purple rain on. Bro. You guys bully me. Oh, I like your outfit. It's cute. I need to go see it this week. One of my favorite Disney films. Is it? I cried. I will confirm. I did say yesterday I would let everyone know if I cried. I cried a big... I would say about maybe 3 times because I teared up a couple of times and then towards the end I teared up so much that it dripped down my face. What a shock. Watch it and then come back to me and tell me that you didn't even remotely like have a little bit of like, you know, a tear. It's a cute film. It was a cute film. It's gonna be one of those films though that I rewatch when I'm at home. When it's out. Definitely. Because like we're still waiting. We're still waiting for Snow White to be on streaming and America already has it. America has it. Why can we not have it too? It came out like 2 months ago, right? I watched it before I started streaming again, so it came out in like, what, February, March? Why can I not watch it yet? Why can I not watch it yet? Explain to me, Disney, why I can't watch a film yet. I want to rewatch it. I could probably buy it on Prime, but I'm not going to do that yet. Because it should be on Disney Plus forever. Like, the minute it comes out, it should be watchable for the rest of Disney Plus's run, you know? There shouldn't be any reason why I can't watch it. So I'm not buying it because that's ridiculous. I bought Wicked for a reason. It wasn't going to be streaming anywhere. We should only have one lot of ads on stream. Unless there are some kind of patch notes. Which I don't think there's going to be because it's not going to be a big update. That's like not next week, the week after, I think. But we'll see. I will wait like 5 minutes after being kicked out of the game to see if anything like gets said. We're like 40 minutes off the update and nothing has been said. I don't even understand what's going on with this. They haven't even told us a single thing. They're like they just don't want to mention the word to us. We got a way back. I didn't even realize. Yeah, they don't want to say the word. They're like, frogs? I don't know what you're talking about. There's no frogs in PALIA. They don't exist. The frog thing never happened. As far as Singularity 6 are concerned, there is no such thing as a frog thing. I actually couldn't believe it though when they put that little message out being like, there was a bit of a problem with the game and we have to fix it, and they put a little frog emote. Just say the word frog. Just say the word frog. It's not terrible. Just say the word. Starred one? We're gonna have to keep one, I think. If we already have a starred one, I'll sell it. If not, I'll have to keep it. Hello? I only shot that once. The game really just said like, yeah, no, you're not getting that push today, girl. Like, what is that? He just like dove straight into the water. Hello? What just happened? Like, he just hardcore just like disappeared. I don't even know what I just saw. Tony, hello. How's your day doing? I hope it's good. How was your movie? It was so good. I cried. I cried. I did say I would. I did say I probably would, and I did. But it was so good. It's definitely worth watching. I don't think you need to blame your aim. It's not my aim. It's not my aim that's the problem. It's the game. The game is so buggy right now since the update. Like, things are disappearing. Things are not appearing. It's not me that's the problem. Kinda me. It was my fault yesterday. I was not hitting those schmalls at all. Everyone else was doing all the work and I was just picking up the bags. But I mean, right now we have got like a wave back. We got a couple of emerald, a couple of wave back. But I somehow still don't even have a starred Ogopuu scale, so that's a bit weird. Not that I need it. I don't think we do. But we need to like go and heal my my bow. Maybe we do that now. Also, I forgot to water the plants again. I literally have pumpkins and beans in my garden, and I don't think they've even fully grown once. Excuse me? Let me go back home. Pale, did you seriously expect anything other than bugs? No, I didn't. But I shot at an Ogopuu once, and it dove straight in the water. I shot at another one, and it just, like, disappeared. So, heal my my bow. When I seriously do need to just like spend a little bit of time on my plot. I feel like I've not decorated at all. I did all of this and made it look so much nicer, and I do like it, but I need to decorate it properly. Like, I want like a little wooded area with like this pixie thing in it. Oh, we need to loot this. I keep forgetting. Oh, don't need that. Yeah, like, I feel like I need to do a little bit of decorating at some point. Let's see if I have any of these, and then we'll go back. I have one. I'm gonna sell that. How many of these? Oh, we don't need anything. Thanks for asking if they could change the name from PALIA to Bugsville. Wait, that literally would work so well, though. That's the thing. But like, I don't know what game that is. No, everyone would be like, oh yeah, I know what game you're on about. It's so obvious. Let me get rid of a couple of these. Because like, if I know what I need, I can just sell things very easily before the game ends. Ends? The game isn't ending? Maybe we save that and use that and that. But everything else I am literally just going to sell because there's no point not. I'm not going to water these. We don't have time. I'm running out of time. We only have like 35 minutes and that's if it doesn't kick me out early. No! Did they really put the fairground where Elderwood's supposed to be? Did they really do that? They got me traveling to the market that I don't need to go to. 172 people. I don't even want to go. 172 people. You've got to be kidding me right now. I clicked on that accident. They did that on purpose, right? They were like, I know what'll stop people from doing bugs. Send them to the market where they don't need to be because majority of people have been playing the game for like 2 years and they don't need to go to the market. That's great. Thanks, PALIA. I think we're stuck. I think we're stuck. Why? Why did I do that? That was muscle memory. I literally clicked on the wrong thing so quick I didn't even realize. 131. Come on, I don't even want to be there. I don't even want to be there. I don't need to be there. Right now, at least. Maybe another day, but like right now, I don't need to be. This is insane. This is as difficult as it is to get into the, like I've been trying to talk to someone at the student loans for like a good week at least now. And every time I log in, I either can't talk to them or there's like a queue. This is like the queue to get on. Come on. It took less time with like 500 people. What is this? Should I close my game? Oh. Should I close the game and reopen it? I don't need anything from the market. I have everything. I have one of everything. Oh my god. That is just ridiculous. That took like 5 minutes. Elderwood, thank you. Thank you. What? Do we think they're going to say anything about this update? I don't think we're getting anything. At all. They're just going to do an update and not tell us anything about it? That seems a bit weird to me. That seems a bit weird. Absolutely nothing. Well. It is going to make me want to log back on though when the game comes back up. I'm not going to lie. It's going to make me want to keep playing because I've only played for like an hour. A little bit annoying. It's not what I had planned. Also, like... Oh. Uh-oh. This way. Okay. I keep seeing people say that game is going to be out this week, and I just, like, didn't even realize how many games are being released in May and, like, June and stuff. It feels a little hectic. Ads in 3 minutes. I am so sorry. But that should be the only ad break we have in the stream because we will be ending around 4:30. So hopefully we won't get another ad break. And if we do, I will literally just... I will literally just snooze it 3 times. If I have to. So that we don't get any. Wait, I've just realized. Did I even get any oh, I did. I got like 200 essence. I was like, did I even get any essence? Hello? I thought I, got that from something else. Oh yeah, we got like 75 from the pixie, but that was it. Okay. Yeah, we have 1 minute till 4. Anything at 4 o'clock? Any update? Any update on the update? It would be nice. My feeling is they're just gonna do it and not say anything. I'll just post a singular emote of the frog. Or that, the gif. The, frogbot gif. That would be funny. It would be funny, but I'm gonna be annoyed if they don't just tell us. Why are you teleporting? Why are you teleporting? What is that? When I first started hunting in Elderwood, they didn't teleport, so I'm a little bit confused about it. That never used to happen. Let me up. I know, we'll see. Like I say, the servers go down in 30 minutes. So we'll have to just see if it kicks me out. Sometimes you can stay in game for like an hour. I've been in game for like an hour after the update started before, so maybe we just don't do anything until it kicks me out. That's what I'm thinking. I was gonna say, why did I only have 10 starred meat? Where's the rest of the meat gone? Like, that was weird. Okay, we are running. We have so much original Ogopuu. It's filling up my inventory. We're gonna sell everything I have right now anyway, so we'll probably just fast travel to Zeki or something. Oh. Okay, that does not work. Don't do that. Don't be like me. Yeah, I think we'll just stay in game. We'll just keep doing everything. I hope that my luck isn't going to be like, oh, let me just go and get this bag before the servers end. And then the servers go down and the bag I didn't pick up was the one with a plushie in it. I'll never know, but... Why are they teleporting? What time is PALIA shutting down? They are doing an update in 30 minutes. At past. The only thing about it is that it's only saying in-game. So... And I completely forgot about it because I went live, and the minute I went live, I like opened PALIA just before actually clicking the live, and it quite literally was the only place that tells you they are turning the game off for like an hour, right? It doesn't even say that, it just says an update, but I'm guessing it's like an hour. It's the only place that tells you it. Nowhere else says, hey, the game's going down at all. Wait, what? What? What the? What the? But yeah, it doesn't... They haven't tweeted, they haven't put on Instagram, they haven't put on Discord. No one has said a single thing. I'm guessing the frogs. Probably. But like, the problem is, last time they did an update, it didn't fix it. And all they put was, some people have found a bug in the game and we need to fix it. And they put like a frog emote. And I was like, come on. Come on, like... The PALIA launcher, it shows it's shutting down. Yeah. Yeah. But like, that's the only place. They're like hiding it. They're not telling us about it, right? They've only put it in the game. And a lot of people don't even like... Personally, myself, I boot the game up while I'm doing something else, right? So like, I don't look over at that screen. I just like wait for the sound and then I click like my control button on my keyboard and then it loads in. I don't even see that message most of the time. I saw it yesterday. I did. I'm not gonna lie, I saw it yesterday. But I forgot. I just think it's a bit odd that they haven't announced it anywhere else, if I'm being honest. Like, at least on Discord or Twitter or something. Yeah, the PALIA launchers. That's what I mean, like, on the, you know the bit where it tells you have to, click a certain button to start the game? That's where it says it for me. So it's like, as much as it's, like, there for everyone to see. Technically, yeah. I just think it's a bit weird that they haven't even publicly said anything. Right? Like, if you can't get onto the game... And you're like thinking, I'm going to go home later on. I'm going to get the game up. I finish, like, you know, I get home at a certain time, right? Say people getting home at 4 o'clock and they're like, yeah, I'm going to play when I get home. The game is down and they didn't realize it because they didn't log on the other day to see it. I would be annoyed. I would personally be very annoyed. If they'd have tweeted about it and put it in Discord, I wouldn't have been as annoyed. So I'm glad I'm not in that situation. But I know a lot of people are not going to be happy. It's a bit better when it's like something they've announced. It's been said, not announced. You know? That's how I look at it. An announcement would have been like worldwide. I feel like I smell food. I'm gonna assume my brother just got home. Or he's just started cooking food. Or someone's... I think it's bacon. I smell bacon. Is it bacon? feel like the smell in this house, when you cook in this house, it just spreads. It spreads so far. Like, you cook one thing and it smells of it for like 3 days. Oh, everywhere I look, they're like diving into the pool. Where are they all? Oh, found one. Lamb stick. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck. If I was you with a bacon, maybe, but it did smell like his food. I don't think I'll ever be able to eat steak anymore. Right? Not like actual steak. Like, I'll eat it in my casseroles and stews and stuff, like, but I don't think I can eat like an actual steak or anything ever again. Just smell them too much. I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't think I'll ever want one again. Okay, we're at 10 past. Do we think that we're gonna get kicked out on time? Do we think we'll get kicked out delayed or early? Knowing my luck, it'll be early, right? Although I do look at that one time I did stay in the game for a while. We get plushed in the next 20 minutes? Maybe? I wish I knew what the tactic was. I wish I knew. Honestly, I just wish there wasn't an update today. If the update had been tomorrow, it would have been great. Do you know where the piles are? I do not. If you search it into, like, whatever you use to, like, your, like, browser or whatever, it will give you a site for them. I need to make that command. It is my PALIA commands, actually, but I don't remember what it's actually called. I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, if you just, like, type in, like, PALIA pile location, there's, like, a map for them. I haven't been to them. I don't have time. I don't have time. None of time in PALIA. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Thank you. Gonna find them myself. Okay. Oh, were you gonna tell me where they were if you found them? Is that why? I have no idea though. Yeah, I'm not finding them today because, well, I might do later if I get on again, but right now there is not enough time. There is not enough time. Just what you said yesterday? Okay. I do need to find them. I do need to be going to them. Oh my. You're quick with that arrow. Holy. What are you using to do that? Is that controller? That was very quick. Yeah. If we'd have had a full stream today, I would have gone and done the piles, but we didn't really have time to do everything I wanted to do. Those arrows are so quick. No. No. Wait. Oh. Hang on, where did they go? Yeah, on Friday, I will make sure to do the piles. I will try and do them at some point tomorrow, but it's not going to be a priority. Like I said, I'm not allowed to stream. I'm not allowed to play anything until I finish my assignment. So, that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck. But it's fine, because when I finish this assignment, I have no more assignments for like 2 or 3 months. So I don't have to think about anything. I can literally just... Oh, why am I slow walking like the whole time? I don't have to think about any of them. Oh shoot, I don't have the right one out. Saturday when you have come off. I can't. I'm not in the right way for it. I'm not in the right way for it. I decided to basically wake up tomorrow with like the right head on my shoulders. And like commit the entire day to it, if you know what I mean. Like I'm gonna have like a timer, remind myself to eat, all that, but I'm gonna spend a lot of time all day tomorrow doing it. I'm too tired to do it today. Like, if I'd have thought that the game was going down today, maybe I would have done the assignment today and streamed tomorrow, but I forgot about it. Forgot about it. Also, like, I don't think I can even stream tomorrow regardless, because... Is there someone coming tomorrow? I don't remember who. I feel like something's happening tomorrow. That's why oh, I have a phone call appointment. Yeah. At like 4:30 as well. So it would have been in the middle of stream, and I don't know if it's going to be a 2-second thing or what. We're back. We're going to have a scale. So like my plan was to just not stream on that day anyway, because it was just an inconvenient time. Inconvenient time. You sound like Wurzel Grummage. Sorry, what? What? I sound like who? What part of it? Is it the accent? Is it the damn accent? There's always someone that I sound like because of it. Google him? Oh god. Wait, I'll Google him after the game's gone down, because I don't want to... I don't want to get distracted. Trying so hard to just play the game for like the next 10 minutes, and I just keep falling in these holes and stuff. I know the name, but I don't know who it is for some reason. What? What? Huh? Scarecrow. Oh, that's the one my mum was on about that one time. I remember. Yeah, I remember now. That's why I know. Oh, if I got a plush then, I was about to be really excited. But like, is the guy who plays him, is he Yorkshire then? Do you remember why my mum mentioned him before? I just remember saying something about him. Level 58. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Anyway, it's okay. The funniest thing is, like, Jack, I don't know if he's still here, but he says I sound like a farmer. He says I'm a farmer all the time. He says that everyone from Yorkshire's a farmer. He's from Bristol or something? I don't know. Apparently I sound like him. It's just a step up from the farmer thing. I mean, I sound like a farmer and I sound like a scarecrow. They go hand in hand, I guess. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Nope. Nope. I missed. I always panic. Why am I panicking? Like, give me the loot. You said when you get up tomorrow, you have a different head on, which is why I say you sound like... Wait, I forgot I said that. I forgot I said that. That makes so much more sense. That makes so much more sense. Like, I genuinely, though, like, in terms of that, I cannot do anything productive if I haven't got the right mindset. Like, if I do uni work, it has to be done the minute I'm ready for the day. My luck is just not happening. My luck is not happening. Damn it. I feel like this guy's going to be the easiest one to get a plush from. There's so many of them. Like, I don't know which one people have the most of. I wonder how long. How long is it going to take? I have a feeling that people in game right now have no idea that the game's going down in a minute. Everyone's partying up and I'm like, ugh. By the time you add each other and join the party and join the server, I'm pretty sure like the game will be down. If I'm on the next time you stream, I'll hunt with you. Okay, well, I should be live on Friday at 3. I say should. I want to be. There shouldn't be any reason I'm not. It is a planned stream. I could be live on Thursday, but I'm not going to say I'm definitely on Thursday. Oh, damn it. But yeah, we should have a normal stream on Friday, so we should be fine to just, like, have a good 3-hour stream and just go insane. Run around like maniacs. I'm gonna use one of the potions as well. So that the swamp doesn't affect me. And then we can run a bit quicker. And these guys don't spew that too, because ew. Should make it a little bit easier. Ooh, we have 3 of them. I don't even need them. But no, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, today was supposed to be like a proper hunting stream, but it's okay. We had yesterday. Yesterday was good. Oh, they're getting stuck on like that bit where we get stuck, I think. "12 minutes. I think I got a push from the rare one, the wave back one. The like black and blue one. They're letting wait, they're letting me the hotfix is delayed. Wait, what? They delayed it? I think that was the one. Yeah. Oh, I want that one. They're telling me the hotfix is delayed. Oh. Wait, someone actually told you it is? Have they actually said that like in Discord or something? They haven't said anything like on Twitter or anything. Do they normally do that on like Twitter and stuff if like it's going down? Oh. Here we go. Delaying the hotfix. Stream is finalizing. Team is finalizing a few things. Make sure everything's solid for moving forward. We'll keep you posted as soon as we have more information. Time and date. Wait. So we have a proper stream. Wait. Delaying today's previously posted hotfix. So do we not think it's happening today at all? That's very confusing. That's very confusing. That tells me they haven't found a fix. They haven't found a fix. Yikes. We just like broke the game. Like hardcore broke the game. So are we okay to like I need to double check these things. Just relog to see any announcement is gone. So we're doing a full stream then. I'm so lost. They keep confusing me. By the seams of it. When was that posted? 7 minutes ago? We've been talking about ending this whole time. It's postponed. They're not saying anything. I'm assuming it's not today then. If I get on Friday, we start the stream, and they're like, hey, we're gonna put the game down, I will be a little bit annoyed. I will be a little bit annoyed. So we honestly might as well go back home. And fix this and carry on. If anyone wants to join, feel free. We might as well if there's no hotfix. Or whatever it is. I don't even think it's a hotfix. I think it's like a full-blown update. Like a full-blown like update to fix something. That's a little weird. It has got me thinking though that it's definitely something to do with the frogs. If they're like having to find something. Just looked and it is the way back I have. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I want that one. That one's my favorite one. He's so pretty. Hopefully we can get one today though if we can continue. We gotta go sell these. I don't know how much money I have left. Wait, we were gonna go and buy things too. They messed up my whole stream. We were gonna log on, go buy stuff, sell some things, log on, buy like we were gonna do like get rid of like 100k and then get it back again. Do you know what I mean? That was like the thing I was thinking. I was thinking like, yeah, wait, we can't sell this. Let me go to Seki actually. This is gonna be very difficult. I wish they would make it more than 10 per stack. Why is it 10 per stack? Who came up with that? Let's go to Zeki then. Wait, actually. Yeah, we can sell them. Okay. Hopefully I don't end up at Magic Market again. It's gonna bug me like crazy. I need to stop using muscle memory to like select where I'm going. Okay. Okay, we keep an eye on things then. I just didn't get a notification for that. For that Discord message. Which is weird because I do have it turned on. But it didn't come through. Hmm.
Oh, look what the
No.
I'll see you soon.
Not you. I wanna sell you stuff. Oh no. Oh no, it's like Subiru all over again. Let me sell things to you. Same stupid dad that came up with the idea of putting fish in stacks of 5 in your pack. Literally the one of the like the most annoying things. What can we have like if we're gonna have a limit on the number, can it be 99? At least. Because I know they don't like 100 for some reason. So like, can we have... Wait, what do we even use the Ogopuu skin for? Am I missing something? Is it like furniture or something? I haven't made any furniture yet. The new ones. I'm just selling it because I don't need it. Selling all of this because I don't need any of them. I have like a couple of them at home, so I'm fine. No one's screaming at me. I promise I have a reason to sell them. Open that. I think I already had that. I think I already had that. Good thing is actually, if the stream's going to be longer than I actually thought, I did open OBS through admin. So, Bellboy, hello. Good afternoon. How's your day been? How was the film? It was good. I cried. I cried. Of course I cried. We did say I was going to cry. I welled up like 3 times, and the 3rd time, it dripped down my face. I was like, why? Why am I crying? What am I can't help it. It was a good film though. And the actress that plays Lilo is just the cutest thing ever. Like in real life, like the way she talks is so intellectual. She talks smarter than I do, right? And she's like 6. But in the film, she does such a good job at being like the opposite. I love that. But she was making me cry. She was making me cry. How many arrows do we have? I didn't buy many. Is Hastian is not here. Let me go find Hastian and buy more. Done with the frogs. If anyone wants to join me in hunting Ogopoos, you can. You can. I am apparently not ending stream in 4 minutes. We were gonna end stream in 4 minutes. Apparently we are not. It's so exhausting. I liked it. It was fun in the terms of like having everyone there. It was super fun, but it's so exhausting. I like almost hate it for that reason. Your eyes are like locked on to the frogs and you just get so tired so quick. Got my loo machine and the pickle barrel thingy. Pickle barrel, I like that. That's so good though. Wait. That's so good. That means you're gonna be able to make like some decent money now. Definitely. Like one of the best ways to make money is hunting and turning stuff into like leather. And then the meat into the glowworms, and then your like crops into jam. I will in a few minutes grab a drink and I'll be there. Okay. Okay. Light bulb oven thing. I like these descriptions, they're great. I love it. I might go and talk to Hassian and then have a quick little break. Quick little break. Just like a two-minute break. And then we will go and hunt in Elderwood. Appreciate all the help. I'll never get the job in sales, right? Honestly, would I? I honestly just like, these are things I've learned from like people in chat. People in chat, it's not me. These are just things that they've taught me. I'm spending everything. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't need these medals right now. I've bought what I care about and right now I don't feel like I need any more of them. Yeah, I give a lot of credit to like Tony, and like Les has helped me out quite a lot as well, and like Raz and stuff, so it's kind of been like I can't take credit. Okay, I'm gonna load in. And talks with a woman I met in PALIA, advice on how to woo her. Wait. You met on the game? Or are we talking about in the game? IRL, my bad. Wait. Vampire crab for sure. In the game? I have no idea. I'm not very good at advice. If Jack comes back, you can ask him. I'm terrible. Oh, hang on. Give me just a second. I need to get this up. Do I leave this on or should I leave this on? Oh, hello. I didn't mean to do that. We'll leave this on. I will leave you in the capable hands of Tony for a second. I'm going to be right back. I'm going for a second. I'll be right back. Not kids leaving me hanging. Oh god. Girl advice. I'm not the best person for advice. Jack asks me for advice all the time and I'm terrible. I didn't actually read it though. Hang on. I'm gonna have to leave half my headset off so you can talk to me. Was in another stream and took my shot with their friend. Oh. So you were like actually talking to a real person. I thought you were talking about in game. But what did you actually say? Let me go back up. When talks to the woman about PALIA, advice on how to woo her. Advice on how to woo her. That's not Jack. It's Les. It's mostly in game though. I don't know what to say. I'm really bad with like. I don't exactly have experience. Well, you only started talking to her like. Was it last night? Or is this like for a while? I wish I could help. Yesterday? Oh god. You coming on stream or are you sitting there? My mum sat next to me. She doesn't want to like. But I'm in love. Oh god. I can't help. I have no advice. Just keep talking to her and get to know. Yeah. Yeah. That. What? We talked about serious stuff like politics and dreams. Oh my god. That. Politics? Jeez. Oh, see, people are trying to say hi to you and you can't even see your face. Tony. There. Not playing games live shot. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not messing around. Yeah, just talk a lot, like Tony said. Get to know. Are you just gonna like? I feel like I need like a little chair because you're just like hovering over me. Can you read any of this? Early 30s. I feel young on Twitch right now. I feel like I'm a baby right now. Like everyone's older than me right now. I am much though. Damn. I think we all do around here. She even had to tell me to slow down. Wait, are you like a fast talker like me? Okay, you need to set your upper mum cam. Like, honestly, I think the funniest thing would be if when I get around to teaching you the Switch, we'd literally have a camera up on the TV and just like sit here and play. Put you in the corner of the stream. Wait. Is that who I think it is? Yeah, it is. She like comes. No way. Oh god. Yeah, it's your best friend, Jack. No way. Like that. Come back at the perfect time. Are you just like in and out of sleep? I don't know. Have you ever seen her before? What the fun is a great line. Okay, I'm gonna like actually play the game because I feel like I've been sat here for like how long? I don't know if anyone else wants to join. Wait, I need to actually invite 20 to the party. Go fight. Oh, did I just hit you in the head? I hit something. What did I just hit? Oh my god. Yeah, if anyone else wants to join, we're gonna just go and like, I guess we're gonna carry on doing what we're doing. Hunting the Ogopoos. Because apparently we're not ending the stream. We were gonna end the stream like 7 minutes ago, and according to Discord, the game is not going down. Let me double check before we do. But yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Let me get my headset back on properly. And then we'll put it. Oh god. Wait, let me put this back up. I'm sorry, Tony. We'll do it. We'll start in a minute. Don't put the headset on right. I'm gonna look weird. And I'll be uncomfortable. Okay, we're back. I can see where you get good looks from. I do look a lot more like my mum recently. I do. Okay. So, if anyone, like I said, if anyone wants to join at any point, we are just gonna go and do Ogopuu hunting. We're gonna go and try. We're gonna try. I am gonna be running around like I said, like yesterday. Like a headless chicken. We're just gonna be like ridiculous. But I want the plushies, so we're gonna do everything we can to try and get them. Yesterday we needed things for the relics and it worked out pretty well. So maybe today we will get a plush. Maybe. We'll see. We haven't gotten one so far. We have like another hour and 20 minutes. So if we get one, it's thanks to Tony. Oh, there's people here. There's people hunting. There's loads of people hunting. We're not alone. Oh, better follow the crowd. I better follow the crowd, otherwise we won't get anything. Keep thinking that like the Ogopoos are something else. Not the Ogopuu, like the foliage is an Ogopuu. That's what it looks like. It's actually probably a bad thing there's more people. If we can hit them before they kill them, like we can get more loot quicker. Tony, where did you go? Did you get distracted? Oh, you're in your way. Okay, I'm gonna leave my inventory to just be hectic, okay? Because I don't need it to be organized. There's no reason. There's no reason for my inventory to be remotely, like, whatever. Grab the pile. Okay. Okay. I did think that might be what you were doing. I'm gonna ignore them today, honestly. I just don't really care about them right now. Yeah, we're just gonna be bothered about the Ogopoos and nothing else. I'm literally leaving everything because we didn't think the game would be up, and now the game is up. I'm just kind of like, okay, take advantage of it. Take advantage and just get the damn plush. I feel like I got too lucky on day one with stuff. I think that's what the problem is. I remember everyone else like got... Everyone seems to be getting the plushies now. I haven't got one, but I got like all the ingredients we needed for the quests. I, for some reason, ended up with all the ingredients without trying. And so I kind of feel a little bit like I got all that instead of the plushies. And I feel like I would have rather it had been the opposite way around. I mean, upset game stayed up, but I committed to an hour of frogs. Yeah, I think if I really needed to, I would have done frogs. I'm not gonna lie. I would have. But I didn't really need it. Didn't really need it. So I'm ignoring everything now. Absolutely ignoring everything and just deciding to plushie hunt instead. I don't need anything. So hide them in inventory, yeah. I guess. I mean, the thing is, like, if they take it out, I don't know what's gonna happen to the frogs. but prices don't change. That's what I'm thinking. Like, they can't really change the prices, right? Or they wouldn't, right? Maybe. We would hope they don't. That would be extremely frustrating if they do. If people have them in their inventory, because what happened with the with the cake pies, they can. Well, they can, but I hope they don't. But with the cake pies, what they did was, did they do that with Starstones too, where they didn't change the price or anything? Because with the cake pies, they made everyone's cakes spoiled, right? And so it basically meant that if you saved them in your storage and then you went back after the update, apparently everyone had spoiled food. They sold for insane amounts. I remember the Starstones being something I did. I remember it was a moneymaker for me. Definitely. And I was upset when they took it out. Spoiled seems rude. Yeah, when they changed the price of it and everything, it became spoiled food. So if you took advantage of that, it basically was just like useless for you to keep them. Which I think is a little bit unfair. I think it's a little bit unfair. I think they could have just let people sell stuff, but I think a lot of people had quite a bit. I think there were quite a bit of people that were hoarding them. And then when the update happened, I think they just kind of thought, I don't know. I think if it's something that's no longer allowed in the game and they keep it, it's a bit of a complicated topic. Right? Like, do they just let people keep the ones that they had, or do we get rid? Which is why I'm thinking that they might just be like, yeah, you're not going to keep any of the frogs after the update. I'm like, how is that going to work? Do we keep all the frogs or not? Do we get to keep them? That's why I don't want to do it, because I feel like despite the problem that I actually do have with the storage right now, that isn't even a problem. I'm thinking they're going to take them off me, or they're going to make them sell for less, or they're going to be useless. So I'm a bit unsure as to like what's going to happen. And it kind of makes me a bit nervous. Right? I don't want to go do it and then it just be like useless. So I wouldn't advise keeping them. I would probably just try and buy stuff and sell stuff and then keep the gold cap before the update, but... Okay, where are all the Ogopoos? There isn't any now. They'll just top the mass spawning of them. That's what I'm thinking, like, they're obviously very rare without the glitch. So I'm thinking that, like, maybe they will just get rid of the spawn thing and they'll keep the price. It is very likely. They can't do anything with them. They can't do anything like just spoiled food or anything like that. I think it is a little bit rude though that like they did the spoiled food thing. I would have been very annoyed. Like literally cooking so much and then they just like basically say you can't do anything with it anymore. That kind of sucks. Also, like, there are no Ogopoos. Like, even this group of people are just like, oh, it's Mace! It's Mace, I just realized! Wait. Is that actually Mace? Why didn't I realize that? Wait. I keep forgetting, I don't know why, if it's just me, but sometimes when I watch a streamer for the first time, until I hear them speak, I always think they're American. I completely don't even realize. I honestly thought Mace was American because of the whole moose thing, and then I watched him and I was like, oh! He's British! Okay, there isn't any Ogopoos though. There are no Ogopoos. Where are they all? Did they break the game again? Oh, what's that? Did you find one? Oh, frog. Frog. Wait, what did these sell for? 140? I haven't even been catching them. I have not been catching these frogs because I didn't think they were worth much. Just keeping them because it's worth a shot. If not, you'll have max gold anyway. Yeah. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. If you're not missing out on anything, then it's fair enough. Where are all the Ogopoos? Where are they all? Am I blind? I can't find any. There aren't any. Is my game bugged? There are literally no Ogopoos. Wait, what? There's not one. Hello? Was it the Ogopoos causing the frogs? I'm lost. I don't see a single one. They usually spawn quite quick around here. I have no idea where they've all gone. What? What? I think the game broke. Guys, there's not a single one anywhere. Like, I know that Mace was over here with a couple of people, but they left, I think. And now there's still none. So it's literally not because people are hunting them really quick. There's just none. This has not happened to me once. This guy's in your party and they know who I was talking about. Wait. Wait. Are we talking about from before? Yeah. Okay. Okay, Tony, I feel like there is nothing. What do we do? I can't see a single one. I'm so lost. Grove? Wait, Grove? They all stuck in Grove. Top right? Here? Did they even spawn there? He's teleported to the— oh, okay, wait, where's the thing? Let's try that. I didn't even know they spawned there. This is where I come for them. Because this is where I see them. It's like a private hunting ground, my favorite spot. I didn't know that. Okay, Matana Grove. Matana Grove. Let's see. Let's see. They are. Good call. Good call. Much appreciated. Well, you're gone already. No. I hit that. I hit that. When it gets empty, just go back to the swamp. I didn't know that they spawned. I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea that they even really spawned around here. I always go to the other one for them. I always go to the other place for them all the time. If both is empty, which is rare, then deep woods. Okay. I didn't know this at all. I had no idea. Like, I knew they were here, but I didn't know, like... what the spawn rate really was and that it would go empty, you know? I had no idea that that would happen. That's odd. How long has it been? Like 2 weeks? Oh. I still don't know these things. I still don't know. Well, you learn. Maybe we'll know soon. Try and remember that advice. Okay, so we need to be going like back and forth then. I honestly, like, whenever I'm not streaming though, I can go to the other place and they're there the whole time. So maybe this is what I've been doing wrong. If you get bored, those trees have magic and shadow mujins. Oh, yeah. True. I've just not... Oh. Oh, he's bugged. He's bugged. Damn it. Okay. I honestly though have been going to like... Wait, what? What just happened? I was just like going to... what's it even called? Is it Mavis we call it where? Take a selfie with it? Wait. I didn't even think of doing that. I didn't even think of doing that. No! Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Yeah, I was just going over there and... Why is it floating? What the... I was just going over there and that was it. Like, is there anything down here? No. Yeah, I didn't realize that people were going all over the map for them. I honestly thought that was the best place for them. I think... Oh, this one. I was about to say, maybe we've run out of them now. I go crazy there. It's probably because no one else comes here though, right? It's like, there's not actually that many people. They can't run far. True. That is a good point. I genuinely didn't think about. See, like I said earlier, you guys give good advice. You can't run that far and that it's a small circle. Yeah, small circle. Good point, good point. Whereas with the other one, it's more open. I did not think about it. See? This is a great thing. Like, whenever I stream, you guys give me good advice. I'm just like, I have no idea about any of it otherwise. Best part, no goo. Oh, that is a good point. You have an extremely good point. Thank you so much. I genuinely didn't even think about doing this. If I get the plushie from this side of the map, I owe it to you. I owe it to you and Tony. For the help. I can't take all the credit. Like, look. They can't disappear because there's no water. This is so good. Like, they can't go anywhere. Wait, I actually love it. They can't go anywhere. There's nowhere. Well, until they go into the water, obviously. But, like, if they run, like, the opposite way to the water, they have no way of going in the water. So that's the only way they can disappear. Like, it's not like a, I still need Emerald Plush and I hunt so fast. If you're online, you can join. If you want. We can try for the next hour. If you want. We're trying really hard. Okay, why not? Yeah, why not? On my way? Yeah, let's go. More the merrier. We have like another hour and then Peer pressure. I'm sorry. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't want to. You can just chill and do whatever you want to do, but this is all I'm doing for the next hour. All I'm doing is hunting Ogopuu. I can't sleep. I love this stream. What time is it? What time is it? $11. Oh. That's my bad. I sleep like twice a day though. Yeah. That's good. Honestly. Hell yeah. But like, wait, you can't sleep because you can't sleep, or you say you can't sleep because you love the stream. Outside 3 minutes. I am very sorry. That will probably be the last stream. The last stream? The last stream. And there'll probably be like the last set of ads. I will try and push the next lot on so they don't happen. Wait, you're online. Let me add you to the party. Oh, wait. Wait, it says you're already in a fight. Okay, 1 second. I was gonna say, like, huh? You joined another fight to tell me about it? I'm joking. But, yeah. Wait, can you request to join a party? I just realized. Or can you only invite to a party? Huh. Only invite. Okay. Also, I'm ready. Okay, okay, okay. I was curious. I was like, wait, can I actually request to join someone's party? Yeah. Wait, did they spawn up there? Or is it just down here, I think? It might be just down here. Oh no, my voice. My god. I don't check up there. Probably not. Okay. Yeah, I don't think they are. I don't think they do at all. I think it is just on this, like, this bit of land. Which makes more sense, actually. That's why it is easy. I think we've gone through them all, though. Should we go to, like... one of the other ones? Go to Murdoch. Murdoch. Okay, okay, let's go for that way. Oh wait, it's not called... Isn't it... How do you say it? Is it Murdoch? I can't remember how to say it. It's like... These names are so odd. Like... Murdoch. Murdoch. Am I even saying them right? Hello? I say it wrong. Then I say it... Wait, how do you say it again? Murdoch. It's like Dimadici. That's like a name that I always have stuck in my head. A historical name. I'm always like, got that stuck in my head. So I say it like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, here they are. Hello. Oh, I'm bugged. I'm bugged again. There we go. Oh, I was gonna shoot your pet on accident then. I feel terrible. It looked like an emerald Ogopuu. It looked like an emerald Ogopuu. I feel so bad. Yeah. I feel like I would honestly get this plush and not even realize I got it. I feel like that is a big possibility. I have a feeling that... Oh. Relics. Wait. It's not called Bag of Illusion anymore? Why does it not say Bag of Illusion? Why is it, like, Master of Disguise? Huh? I really do need to work on these relics, though. I think after this week, we'll work on them from, like, next week on. This week's been a bit all over the place. You don't have the bag yet? No. Just need shadow arrows. Yeah. I need to work on that bag. That is the next one, I think. I need to work on. Which isn't even difficult. I think I just need to... Wait. Pinging the right ones? I was gonna say, like, what is that? Oh, I'm using the wrong one. I feel like... I need to work on the bag and get it finished so that I can work on all the other cool stuff. The bag is worth doing because you need it so that you don't have to waste your materials and things on other stuff. Like ammo. But I feel like it's more worth doing that before everything else, like you guys said before, like focus on one before you try and do any others. But I want the cool ones. I want the cool ones. Bag is really good for solo. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's good that I've got like at least a third one right now. At least a third one. I don't know what the fourth one was. Selfish but better with pie. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. It's just kind of like having what's best for you solo, and then you can like join up with someone and switch them out. I think that's better. Idle track shadows. Ooh. That might be good when I run out of like essence and stuff. Makes all the other ones better. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just like do the bag, and then when the bag's finished, we'll see which one's gonna be better for me solo. And then weigh out the pros on each. Because as long as something's okay to use when you're solo, I feel like it works out that little bit better. But then... Oh no. Like, I play a lot of solo. Like, if I'm on live, like, I don't play with people. I just, like, run around like an idiot and do whatever I need to do. So, like, if I get one that's good for me solo, then that's gonna mean... when I'm not live, like, I have what I need. Because, like, can we make all of them? Because there's only so many of those, the Eloisa currency, right? Yeah, you can only get so many of them, or, like, all of them. You can make all. Okay. Okay, well, we just work on whichever one's the best then, I guess. And we just work on. I have them all. Oh my god. You guys are just like so ahead. I think it's because basically when I wasn't streaming, I would play pretty much every day, but for many hours. And now I'm only really playing when I'm live because I don't want to burn out. So like I'm kind of behind now. Before I was very much in front. I was like I had nothing to do. And now I think we're out. Now I think we're at the point where I'm not like behind extremely or anything, but I'm kind of like not very in front. I'm kind of like at the point where I'm like, clearly I'm ahead of some people. I know some people haven't really been able to play too much since the update. But I kind of miss the whole, like, having everything I possibly need. Kind of miss it. Kind of miss it. But we do that so that we don't burn out. So it's fine. It's fine. Like, we don't have any pumpkins yet. I planted them. Watered them twice. I planted the beans. Watered them twice. but we'll get there eventually. Oh. Fuck. Oh, he's stuck. Oh, he was stuck. He was. Stop moving. Oh my god. Guys are crazy. We are getting so many Ogopuu scales right now, like the emerald ones. I almost forgot as well. I need to go and like do the shrines. like the focus stuff, because I keep forgetting to top them up. And I have like, look at this. I haven't used any in ages, and I feel like I need to be going to the shrines and stuff. Keep forgetting to do that. That used to be something I did all the time. I used to do it like every week at least. And then I didn't play for like a couple of days, and it went on my head. I stopped doing it. Just stop doing it. So I need to start like having a I can't say the word. I'm not going to say that. A routine. I can't not say the word I was trying to think of. I need to have like a routine. Where I log on, I do loot piles, I do the shrines, I do like daily gifts, daily talking, like I do all the things I'm supposed to do. And then Raz, thank you for the focus check. I needed that. I barely drank this whole stream. I always forget. Thank you. And hello. I hope your day's been good so far. I feel like the day definitely turned around when PALIA were like, hey, we're not gonna shut down the game. Hello. Whoa, they're teleporting. They're teleporting. I think we're... Oh, I was about to say, I think we're bleeding it dry over here, but I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh, I should have popped a potion. 59! What the? What the? Since when? Since when am I this close to... like a max? Like I need to... What am I on? 18, 40, 40, 32, 59... 116 is ridiculous. 44 and 34. I need to work on fishing sometime. I think I need to start working on it. Yeah, I need to... Oh, I got too thick. Why have I got too thick? What is that? I always feel like if I have too thick after eating something, I'm like, okay, it's a sweet tooth situation. But right now, it really isn't. It's been too bad, just very wet. Oh, same. Is it raining right now? Yes, it's raining right now. You probably can't see it because, you know, but my room is really dark. Super dark. And when it rains, I like it. Okay, after stream, I'm gonna like turn my light to like a red light and just like, you know, get my blanket out, be like super cozy and stuff. But right now, it's just really dark. It's like really dark, really dim, really kind of eh. Wait, what are you guys saying? You look really cool. How do you do the shadow of this outfit? Let's change skin color so I made her look dead. I love that. Same here. It's been hammering down since 3 a.m. Well, you know, like, usually when you go outside, you check the weather, right? Like, you check the weather. My brother, like, went outside last night. Leaves the house wearing summer clothes, right? Technically, like, summer clothes. Why are you Why are you going outside? He comes back inside, he's like, don't go out there. Oh, you don't want to go out there. I'm like, oh, is it cold? He's like, no, it's like chucking down with rain. Why did you go out in shorts? Are you crazy? The men in the UK sometimes. Explain to me the short situation. It makes no sense. I see, like, there was a guy at the supermarket as well. We went to the supermarket for the cinema to get some snacks. And there was a guy wearing shorts there as well. I was like, what are you doing? Been raining here all day. I think everywhere is just rainy now. We had summer in the middle of spring. And now all we have is, wait, it didn't give the bag. Why didn't it give me a bag? That's weird. He's upstairs, I'll hear you. Well, hear me all you want. Why are you wearing shorts in the rain? Why are you wearing shorts in the rain? I'm gonna judge you for it. It's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. Okay, men wearing shorts when it's raining. I don't get it. Oh, he's stoked. Ooh. I wear t-shirts all year round, but a jumper or a sweatshirt. You're crazy. You're crazy. Couldn't be me. I'm either like a vest person or I'm like a big jumper. The posties around here wear shorts during the winter. Yeah. Postmen like make no sense as well. They're like the worst for it. They are the biggest culprit. Are you not cold? Are you not cold? Someone has to explain that to me. I wear shorts in the house sometimes, even when it is cold outside, but it's like I have a blanket or something, right? Hello! Hello, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Let me put my red message up. I always forget to do this. Hello! Oh, what are those? Are those otters? Are those otters? Am I seeing those emotes correct? That's so cute. Welcome in. I hope you had a good stream. How was everyone's day? Is it Bex? Is that how I say your name? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. A fellow cozy girl. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll remember that. How's everyone's day been? How was stream? Were you playing PALIA? We are currently doing a little bit of hunting. I mean, we say that because we were originally going to end stream at 4:30, which was like half an hour ago. And then PALIA turned around and said, hey, we're going to keep the game going. So we're still streaming. Yes, what were you doing? Were you hunting as well? We're currently doing Ogopuu hunting. It's not going too well in terms of plushies, but the hunting itself has been okay. Who's at the Magi Market? Oh, did you make a bunch of tickets? How was have they updated the Chopper Chase yet and made it a bit more fun? Because I've played this game for too long to want to go to the Magi Market now, and it kind of sucks. We made it for almost an hour unexpectedly. Wow. Oh, I thought they came online then. I was like, everyone's coming online all at once. This is hectic. They have a new game in addition to the Chopper Chase. Oh, is it the Balloon Pop or is it something else? Is it something else? The last time I did the market was 2 markets ago, I think. The balloon one. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I'm not the biggest... Oh, it disappeared. It took too long. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I don't hate it. Right? I feel like the Chopper Chase was the fun one. Important question. Are there new plushies at the market? Maybe it's not. I don't think it's new, but it's like, it was recent. I mean, when did you start playing the game? Are you new to the game? Or have you been playing for a little while? Was hell, gotta run errands. Okay, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I hope everyone that is here is, Lower Wild Bricks. Bye. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If anyone is following, you do not have to say anything and speak in stream. My follower alerts are anonymous. So you can just look if you want to look. I won't call you out. But yeah, if anyone does need to run too, please do go and take care of yourself. Okay, I'm lost. What were we doing, guys? I got distracted. I got distracted. We can probably grow up and wait for Sky. Oh, wait. BIB phone. Oh. Ooh. Raz is online. I think you were getting lost. If anyone wants to join, we have like what do we have, like one more slot left in the group, unless you just want to like follow us around. Yeah, if anyone wants to just like join and we can like hunt together for a little while longer, I'll be live for at least like another 40 minutes or so. Half working but vibing. We love that. We love that. Thank you. Do you want to go to the what did you say? Was it the Grove area? Grove. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that, Liz. Let's do it. Wait. 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 Platinum. Platinum. Yeah. Okay, now we can go. I tried to tell you a long time ago. I didn't see everything. I got distracted by the stream. Nice the fact that travel to home will TP to the market. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize. I accidentally went there earlier. Don't be like me, guys, and use your muscle memory. don't use muscle memory to fast travel. Because I opened the fast travel board at home and instantly clicked on the Magi Market instead of Elderwoods because I completely forgot that they put it back in. And I didn't realize, obviously, they put it on your home plot one too. So now I kind of just have like... I kind of have this problem where I fast traveled to the market and was waiting like 5 minutes. I had to wait 5 minutes for the server to work. It loaded me in so late. I had like 250 people in front of me or something. It was insane. Okay. Back to hunting. Okay, I messed that up. I messed that up. Damn it. Okay, we got one. But yeah, don't be like me and fast travel without looking. Because it's silly. We all know by now, though, that that's kind of just the thing I would do. I am kind of like that. But yeah, I like, you know, the, I'm pretty sure Elderwoods is like the third thing on the fast travel. So I just like, oh, I thought there was one over there. Did I just hear something? I just heard something that was not... made no sense. In, like, the background. As if I was, like, in a call with someone. That is weird. Doesn't look like there's anything near the market, but confirm when it's open again. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll probably try and go at some point. Because I've been really bad with... oh, you blended in, girl. I didn't even see you there. She made me jump. Not guilty of making strange choices. I feel like I genuinely heard something like... It's if you're in like a call with someone and they've like left to go do something and you can hear like the background noise and like someone spoke. But there's nothing. Bag gets full. Les, I don't know if maybe I should go and empty my bag. I think I might go and do that, and then I'll be right back too. I will literally be like two seconds. I'll like fix my thing while I'm at it so we can stay a little bit longer as well. And then I should be fine to go till the end of stream. But yeah, I feel like with the market, I don't do the market much anymore because obviously I played the first one onwards. And I feel like it's almost not worth me going. Not the platinum. My heart. Thank then. Don't do that to me. Oh my god. Keep that. Okay, I fixed my bow while I'm at it. But yeah, I feel like the market now... Obviously, I played the first one and I played every other one since. And I just feel like it's not worth it. Oh, it didn't do it. I knew it didn't do it. I feel like it's just not worth doing it after so long. They haven't added anything new to it. I nearly did it again. Nearly did it again. They haven't added anything new in a while. I feel like the Lunar market was a good change. I think that was nice. But I want more plushies. Give me new ones. Give me something new. In fact, I'm not even asking for like brand new. I mean, like, give me a different colorway, right? I feel like colorway works. Someone completed the group shaft chest complete. Oh, I don't think I have this time. Wait, are we on the wrong server? Oh. Hang on. Oh, did you go back too? Wait. Same. Okay, I'll wait here. In case. I'll wait here in case. I didn't realize. I didn't see the chat. I'm so distracted. My mind's all over the place. But yeah, I feel like if they're going to do anything that's simple, it would be like giving us another colorway, right? Like, it wouldn't be too difficult. I've said this a million times, but I will keep saying it. I feel like if you give me a new colorway of a plush or just something I can like get with the tickets, it would make me want to go more. And like, if they just like changed the randomness of when they turn up. Because having the market so like frequent was great. It sounded great. It was like, yeah, this sounds like a really good idea. And then all of a sudden it became very boring. And I was like, no, I used to love it. I used to go there just for the hot pot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was the one thing I used to go for. And then obviously like, there's your back. We're just waiting for Tony now. I feel like, yeah, it was a little bit like odd. I didn't understand the reason for repeating the market so frequent if we weren't going to change anything. Like, if there's something that's like a standard chaffer, like give us like a random purple one every now and again, or a red one or something, just weird. Just change the colors. I feel like that could work really, really well. That would make people want to go, because even if it's just a color change. Oh my god. A color change isn't a big deal. But we already know what people are like. Like, people, like, don't care if it's something completely different. They just care that it's something new. They made a couple of new mini games, rotate them out. Yes! Rotating mini games, give us, like, maybe just, like, 2 or 3 more, maybe. And then rotate them out, and then rotate the colors of, like, plushies and things like that. Like the Chapper Cup. It's the same cup every time. Like, I don't need it. No. No, damn it. Yeah, like, I don't need the cup. I have, like, 6 of them. There's no reason for me to, like, grind anything for it. Like, oh no. Oh no, maybe it's just me, but that's how it feels. That's how it feels. That's just my opinion. Back in him being called again? You're so popular. You're so popular. Let me move this. I don't mind all this being a mess anymore right now. At least right now. But this is going to bug me if I could see it. But don't worry about it. Yeah, join in. Join in whenever. Go back. It's fine. Maybe add an Orug. Oh, yeah. An Ogopuu cup. I feel like they're missing out big time on not giving us, like, more merch. I know people are going to be a bit like, we already pay so much money for in-game stuff. Don't make them do that too. But, like, I am guilty. I have the Chaffer plush. Like, I'm guilty already. Like, you know? I'm guilty. I can't do anything about it. I think we're out. We can go somewhere else instead. Yeah, I feel like IRL merch would just be like, I'd be a weakness. If we made like the Oh. Wait, which way did you go? We're back to the stables? Oh, that's not you. Okay, Medoc. Demodoc. Demodoc. I don't know. I would obsess over like a like IRL like Ogopuu pup. Right? How cute would that be? Oh no. And like last night we were talking about the like prints I want to buy. This person I found them on like Twitter, and then I found their Instagram, and then I realized that they have a shop, and I'm obsessed with their prints because they are mushrooms. They are chubby little mushrooms, and they are so cute to the extent that I literally need them. I found this morning that they make t-shirts. They make t-shirts with chunky mushrooms on them, and I need them. They're like chunky mushroom men. They sound really weird, but I swear they're the cutest thing. The cutest thing, and I'm like, I need that in my life. I need that in my life. They're like a chunky mushroom man with like the most mundane or like odd thing they're doing, like chunky mushroom onesie. Stop. Oh, if we had a small onesie in this game, I would buy it. I have yet to buy the chaffer one. Oh, I was too late. I'm sorry. I'm slow with changing the arrows. But yeah, give us a chunky small onesie. Not even chunky, just a small. I don't know why I'm saying chunky, but you know what I mean. What's that? Is that Tony? Did it just like announce that you were here? Is that what that was? Oh, that was you? I was like, that's funny. I honestly thought it was Tony being like rocking up and it was just like the game let me know. I thought it was like the relic or something. I love that. Hello. IRL onesie. Wait, yes. I would wear that. I'd probably not be able to wear it for very long because it would get very hot. Like, I have deep woods. Okay. I have like deep respect for the people that wear like those hats on stream. Like Moles, she wears like she has like frog one. She has a bunch of them, I think. I think you can redeem them. But she has a frog hat and I'm like, I love it. I do. But I don't think I could wear it. I would be like overstimulated, but also like very hot. Right? But it's so cute. I love it. I love the mushroom ones. The big mushroom hats. Kinda want one. Kinda want one, not gonna lie. Like, how cute. Do we see any of them? Oh, I fell. I fell. Oh, is that the new place for the frogs? Oh, that way, that makes sense. I think that's where Oakling was this morning when she like went BRB. And I saw like the ruins and I was like, oh, where is that? How do we find that though? Like, how did someone find that? I don't understand. I feel like it's such like an odd thing to just like find something like that. How do you end up finding a glitch like that? There's no ogres. There's one! Behind you. I'm gonna drown! But if you're testing everywhere, but do people do that? Are there people that genuinely do that? Because I feel like that's commitment. Oh. Yeah, I feel like that's like a big commitment, right? I don't have the brain for that. Hello! It spawned right next to me. Like, how long do these people do it? Do they, like, test it with the communities and stuff? Or is it just, like, a random thing? Are you putting, like, honey layers? How'd you have that many honey layers? It's not all will-o-wisp froggies, though. Oh, when I was there the other day, I got 26 per... Oh. You try grove again? Okay, okay. So it's, like, not as consistent. Interesting. Do you think they, like, fixed it to some extent, but then it broke again? That's kind of what I'm thinking. I feel like they did something to try and fix it, and it made it not as insane. That's what I'm, like, thinking, that they really did think they fixed it, and then somehow it was still a thing. But clearly it's not as good. Because before it was, like, just those. The outfit's so cute. I feel like when I first did it, I was like, I'm not doing it right. Like, there's just butterflies everywhere. And I was like, actually, you gotta give it a second. Actually, you're doing it wrong. I was doing it fine. It was just you have to, like, give it a second to do the thing. But I didn't realize that. I had no idea what was going on, to be honest. I think most people were just like... They were reading everything and seeing it all happen, and I had no clue. I had no clue what was going on. Like, I'm always the last person to realize things. Frog party. Frog party. Not for me. No thank you. I don't want one. I have a feeling they may have just a small limit to each type of bug, but at any one time, but with a honey layer is active. So it's just not really worth doing it. Like, anyone that's done it, is it even worth doing it? Like, I'm not gonna do it anyway. Not anymore. I can't really be bothered with it. Not now that I'm max, I don't really feel like it. But is it even worth doing anymore? Because, like, before it was, like, kind of worth it. Hella worth it, actually. But right now, it's just not even... It's not even remotely worth it to me. I think if you hit the max gold, you can honestly just, like... keep making money and selling things and making things. Buying things. After you hit the gold max. Like, that's it. You're gonna jump before I can get to you. I don't trust you. Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of a little bit like, okay, I've hit the gold max for the first time. I feel like I cheated a bit. But I feel almost like I'm just gonna buy what I want and then sell what I'm making and sell what I get from, like, hunting and stuff. And I'm never gonna have to worry about it again. I don't feel like I'm ever going to worry about money again. I could make myself poor if I really wanted to, but I just don't see the need. 28k with 4 honey layers. Is that it? The three of us might have been better with more people, but who knows? That is not worth it. If you're desperate for the money, yes. But I don't think I'm that desperate for 30k. 4 honey layers would get you, like, 200k before. Something like that. And with only, like, 3 of us doing it. Like... Yeah, I don't feel like that's worth it. But like I said, I'm not gonna do it anymore anyway. If it's like 6 months down the line and I desperately need money for some reason, like, maybe. I don't think they're gonna, like, go on for that long. Even if they have to put the game down for, like, a whole 24 hours just to fix it, they will. They will. I'm telling you right now, they will. We already know how they don't like it. Although, I found it hilarious, actually, because when I ended stream, they did the hotfix thing. And I have never found something more funny in my life, because I said on stream, what do we think they're gonna do when they put the game down to fix it? I was like, oh, I think they're just not gonna say anything. Or if they do say something, it won't be like fully indicated what they're talking about. It'll be like, if you know type situation. And then all they did was put that froggy emote thing. And I was like, I predicted it. I predicted it. I was like, oh yeah, they don't want to say the words. I'll probably go to the market, 8 PM game time. Okay. Yeah, that guy's long gone. Long gone. I would say I'm going to the market, but I just don't feel like there's any point in me going to the market. Like, I literally have, like, I have tickets, and I don't even know what to spend them on. Like, what, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for me to spend them. Like, I could go and I could do whatever there, but I just feel like... Yeah. Let's go watch the dogs. I just feel like the market is just not worth it for me right now. I try testing earnings. Although, I did just realize I could make... what's it called? I'm trying to think of the word. I could make a, alt. Where did we say again? Sorry. My mind is... Doc. Okay. Doc. Might try testing earnings with a bigger group of people at some point, but it's less than 75k for $400, so it's probably not worth it unless you really need it. Yeah, I feel like it's almost not worth the time and the energy. It's a big energy thing for some reason. Okay, there are none around here, by the way. Maybe around the backside, but right now, they're not. But yeah, I feel like the only way it is really worth it now is if you have an alt or you're new, right? But like, I'm probably thinking about making an alt account, but only playing slowly on it. Like, very slowly. If that makes sense. Like, I'm literally gonna read everything. And do it all the right way and everything like that. Because I didn't do that on this account and I feel bad. It might help me learn the lore a little better. What is this guy doing? Yeah, I have thought about it. I think maybe after this update settles down, the next one is done. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll make an alt. I just probably won't stream it. I'll probably just stream with this account and use that account off stream. So that I can like learn more. Because I feel like I genuinely feel bad for missing a lot of stuff out. Because I just like rushed through. And like, I didn't rush through at the beginning either. I rushed through when I came back to playing properly. Like I said, I was playing almost every day. But I wasn't playing with intention. And I kind of just like hunted or... you know, did like the most random thing like mining, and I wasn't doing anything with the storyline. I rushed through to get the bundle done, but at the time there was no reason to rush through the bundle, you know? Like, there's people that have only just finished the bundle before this update and they've been playing the same amount of time, but that's because they were playing slowly, and I rushed through the whole time, the whole thing, like, for no reason. So maybe I'll make an alt. I don't know what it'll be called, but I think maybe we'll do it. Like I say, it might be into like summertime. But these ogres are hiding. There's 2 over here. Or 3. Maybe. And we still haven't gotten a push yet, by the way. So I don't know what that's about. Was there one over here as well? Oh. Okay, I'm stuck. Guys? What? What just happened? I don't know what I just did. That definitely wasn't intentional. Yeah, they do not like to spawn right now. Like, where are they? They're like... Oh, there's a couple of this side, actually. A couple over here. Okay. Switch. Ugh. I don't like that. He was running towards my face. Am I seeing that wrong? It says there's one, like, right there. No, it doesn't. Okay, that's odd. I don't know why I was saying that for. Wait, you're stuck in the rock? Can you do the unstuck thing? Oh, you're good, you're good. Oh my god. Oh, the Ogo is... Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That keeps happening though. I feel like they're getting stuck in places that we get stuck. Because like usually if you think about like Bahari and Killamore, like there's not really like... There's not like land water, if that makes sense, like this. Like the bog and stuff, like... So they can't get stuck like that. They get stuck, but not in that kind of way. So I feel like in this place, especially like around here with all this like water and stuff, it's just like... The amount of places you get stuck is insane. But then they keep getting stuck in the same places, I think. Because they're kind of like... They have back legs. So... I feel like they, because of how they can, like, move, it makes them get stuck easier. I am so tired. I feel like it's really weird. Okay, outside right now, we have, it's raining, and it's not even a grey sky, it's like a white sky. It's very cloudy right now. But it's like... We have a bunch of flies out there too. You know, like when it's summer? It's like that still. So I find that really odd. Like, why is there so many, like... It's like summer, but it's like raining. I don't understand. Like, I am not cold right now. And it's like 12 degrees. That's not... I'm not shivering at night. Like, I had to use a water bottle for 2 nights because of, like, other problems. Like, not from being cold. And then, like, I have a water bottle to help with, like, pain and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I'm sweating. So, like, what kind of weather have we even got anymore? I don't even understand. It's like, I know it's spring. But it feels like we're having, like, summer. But with a couple of spring days in between. Almost subtropical? Yeah. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I keep yawning. I'm not bored, I'm just tired. I'm super tired. I gotta have energy for tomorrow. Gotta have energy. My... You guys gotta wish me luck. I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. I'll get it done. It'll be fine. I do leave it like this almost every, like, assignment. I am really bad with it. I kind of get it all done at once. Ah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It wouldn't work. I hate how you have to, like, hold it down for a second for it to actually shoot. That bugs me like crazy. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh my god. But yeah, I will... My plan is literally just like... That was a funny joke. I literally am gonna have to get up first thing as early as I can. And like... Eat... Drink a bunch of water so I don't forget. You know, I'm gonna have to have my water next to me. I'm gonna have the timer on. Tell me to eat, like... But it's okay, because I use this, like... It's basically a game. So it's like a big incentive, right? I can't do anything without it being like a game. It sounds really stupid, but there's something called, They're all gone? Oh no. Where do we go now? Oh wait, there's another one. I feel like I use this like it's like a game, right? It's called Lo-Fi City Sessions, and it gives you rewards for doing things that are productive, right? I'm like, oh, I take something off my to-do list, or I finished a timer for the day, or whatever, and it gives you a level. There's a leveling system with currency, and I'm like, I've been using it for like a year or so now, I think. Pretty much since it came out. I love it. It's like playing a game while you're not playing anything, right? It's like, it's idle essentially, but it's a productive manager. That's what it is, a productivity manager. And it's just so cute. It's so cute. So I'm probably going to use that all day tomorrow. So the amount of money I am about to accumulate in that game, I'm about to be rich. But I also use the Forest app too. I don't know if anyone's heard of that. You can actually plant a real tree with it. Oh, I fell. So like you plant a like digital tree or like a plant of some kind. And then over time, the amount of like currency you build up from doing that and setting a timer, you set the timer, you plant the tree. When the timer's done, the tree's like finished growing. They accumulate over time to where you can plant a real tree, right? And so I have that too. I forget to use one or the other sometimes. But they're both worth it. So we'll get through it. We'll get through it. And then when I'm done, we'd have to think about it till September. I am a little bit annoyed though, because I usually start my module. Like my modules every year, it's like September. Not September. It's like October. Like October. So usually I have like May to October. This year I start on like the 3rd of September. How annoying is that? How annoying is that? Like I'm kind of annoyed. The minute August finishes, I'm in to assignments again. Not fun. But it's my last year. This time next year, we are graduated. And I know a lot of people I decided like I'm not going to my graduation. And that might sound insane to some people. But do you know how difficult it is to even get a ticket to my graduation? It isn't even going to be possible. So I've decided I'm just going to like go and eat a bunch of good food. That's my graduation. That's my graduation. I'm gonna go, it's 8. Yeah, it's 1:15. Kind of forgot about that. Be back in a while. I might be finished with stream. And I'm not too sure if I'll be playing still. But if I am, I will let you guys know. But have fun. Have fun and go and catch some of those trappers. To be honest, my eyes are tired too. You can go if you need to. If you need to go to sleep, you can. I'm about to end stream anyway. I am about to end stream. Don't feel like you have to stick around. Our carry-on hunt in the market will be there next hour. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? You don't have to do that. You guys can go if you need to. When you end, we should get a plushie by now. Oh god, okay. Let's carry on for like 10 more minutes then if you guys are sure. And then I'll end at 6. Even if we didn't get one, I do appreciate the help. I do appreciate the teamwork. We'll get one eventually. It'll probably be when I'm not streaming though. I wouldn't be surprised if it's when I'm not streaming. Oh, I thought I got him. If he was one shot, that would have been so good. That would have been so good. Never end on a loss. Oh, don't say that to me. The amount of times I would play Valorant and I would be like, oh, I've just lost 5 times in a row. I need to keep playing. I'll win at one point. We'll win and then I'll go to sleep. And it was just like, it was a bad addiction. It was a bad addiction. Or like me and Jack, when we play Fortnite, it's always, oh, let's play one more. We just won, right? And then we lose. And then we lose and we kill the vibe. Like, you won. Why are you playing another one? Me with Marvel Rivals right now? I wish I could play Marvel Rivals. I really do wish I could play it. If I had a console, I would be playing it. 1000%, because it's not really a problem, I'm assuming. No new plush, no new plushies. Okay. That sucks. That sucks. I'm not happy with that. I might try and do it though, a little bit, just so I can get like a little bit of some stuff in case I want it for decorating. Other than that, I just don't feel like I need to go. Like, all I did for like the last market I went to, Grove. Okay. We'll do Grove and then I'll probably be ending stream. But yeah, the last one I went to, the last market I went to, I just literally grind for like the time period that it was there, just to buy lanterns. Just to buy lanterns. Sounds ridiculous, but I really did do that just to get like 50 lanterns or something. So I could put them on my plot. Because they remind me of Tangled. They reminded me of Tangled, and Tangled, the film, has like loads of lanterns everywhere. So I was like, oh, I could decorate my plot with them. I haven't even decorated properly yet. But we have like 50 lanterns, so... Hey. Oh. Wait, my compass isn't working right. What's showing me the bags? Level 60? I got level 60, you kidding me right now? We need to fish. I feel like I have everything either past level 40 or almost. And I've just like been neglecting fishing. I need to go back to my like original love. I feel bad. I've neglected Einar too much. Neglected him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got him. Wait. Where's the other one? How is it all the way over there? What? That's a little bit weird. Tiger Lanterns. That's where they released the lanterns into air, isn't it? Yes, that is. Tangled is my favorite film. Not just favorite Disney film, not just favorite animation, favorite film. 1000%. Some people think I'm weird for that. They're like, it's a Disney film. I'm like, I don't care. Okay, call me a Disney adult all you want. I don't care. Like, if I was going to be a Disney princess, it would either be Rapunzel or Anna. Even though she's technically like a queen now, but I feel like, because they're cousins. I love telling people about that. Anna and Elsa are actually Rapunzel's cousins. You can see Rapunzel in Frozen when the coronation happens. I love that little fact. But like, they are like I think the most like quirkiest princesses that exist. The princesses. They're like the least boring. Like, what princess do you know that has a frying pan for a weapon? So I feel like I need to decorate. I need to decorate a plot that looks sort of Tangled, like, and with all this purple furniture, I can do that. I could do that so good. I feel like that's something I need to do. I would love that. I did that in Dreamlight Valley when the expansion came out, and then I took it all down because I couldn't see anything. Vanellope. I always say my mum reminds me. She's gonna kill me for this. She's gonna kill me for it. In terms of like original Disney princesses, Snow White, but I always say she reminds me of Vanellope. Only because she's short. She's gonna kill me for that though. She's listed right now. She's gonna kill me for it. It's the darker hair and like the short. I'm like, yeah, you remind me of Vanellope. Missing my shots. I don't think she's watching the stream, because if she was, she'd be killing me by now. Should be in chat already. Like, are you talking about me? No. Definitely not. You're here? I'm not talking about you. Definitely not talking about you. Nothing will be short. Best things come in small packages. See? It's a compliment. No, I love Penelope though. I think she's hilarious. I wish I was smaller. Like, I know that you're gonna say I'm not that tall again, but I wish I was like your height. I think smaller people are so cute. I wish I was like that. I wish I was short. I don't like being mid-range. Uh-oh. Snoozing the ads. I'm snoozing the ads. They are not happening. We've been talking too much. I have a couple of minutes. How tall are you? 5'6 3/4-ish? I used to say I was 5'7", but apparently I shrunk a little bit. So I'm 168 centimeters, to be exact. So I'm not like super tall. I don't claim to be, but like, that's not tall. It's not small. I am above average height. My mom keeps telling me I'm not tall. I'm not saying I'm tall. I'm above average. I'm above average. I'm not small. I'm taller than my mum. Let's put that into perspective. I'm 5'6". See, 5'6" is still tall. Anything above 5'5" is like tall, in my opinion. Like, I don't care if like, you know, if you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. If you're above 5'5", I'm saying you're tall. I'm not saying we're like 6 foot, but we're tall. I think we bled the map dry of Ogopoos. Guys, I get a sticker pack. For all that, I get a sticker pack. My 6 foot, my nephew is all over 6 foot. My brother's quite tall. I don't know how tall though. I think he might be like, is he like 6'2"? Or am I imagining that? That's a win. Do you think? Should we see if it's something I don't have though? Let's see. No, I have it. I don't even need it, but at least I can trade, right? 6'2"? I don't know why I remembered 6'2". I got one I had too. What about you? Wow, Tony, did you get one you already had? I wish it was a plushie though. Oh, it was that one? I got the oh please one. Ah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the party because I know I'm not gonna be staying. Let me make like I need you guys to party leader. And then I'll leave the party. Because I don't want to leave you guys and then me still be in the party and me not be online. 5'5"? What? Okay, I will leave you guys. Thank you so much for the help though, I appreciate it. Hopefully next stream we can get like a plushie together if you guys are online. I'm gonna nap then. Thanks for tuning with me. Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. I am gonna get the thing up though. We're back. Bye bye. Have a good sleep. Thanks for the help. Bye. Let me close the game, otherwise I will be quite literally sat in game for the next like hour and not realize it. One of my cousins was 6'8". That's crazy. I don't think I've ever met anyone that tall. Although actually, I think where I was once, there was a guy that was extremely tall, and I was like a bit freaked out. I was like, I'm like half your height, and I'm not that short. Crazy. Okay, let me go on and see. I don't have the ability to really stick around. I feel like raiding and running pretty really quick. Stick around. I feel like raiding. Ow, my ears hurt. Maybe I'll send you guys into. Who do we do that? Who do we send you into? I know Moles is live, but we keep spamming her with like raids. And then Yeah, I just don't really want to be like going into someone's stream and feel like I have to talk right now. That's my only problem. I feel like I have to run and I don't want to be like, I don't want to read and run. I feel bad. Don't raid? I feel bad not raiding though. It'll be okay. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Let me wait for this ad to finish. Is she doing a starting soon screen right now? She just started, right? I might send you guys in there and just lurk quietly if you guys want to go say hi. Yeah, she has a starting soon. I'll send you guys into here. Read an offline person, that'll then save state. Wait, let me get rid of that. I'll send you guys into how do we say that? I don't know how to say her name. I feel really bad. Wait, did it not do it? Oh, it didn't do it. Damn it. Okay, it's not letting me even raid. I don't know what's going on. I might just end the stream. I feel terrible. I like to raid because I feel like guys are here. I feel like sending you into someone, but it's not working out, okay? I'll just say bye instead. I'll just say goodbye. I won't be live tomorrow. I won't be live tomorrow because I have to do my uni work. But I will be live on Friday and we'll do more hunting and hopefully try and find a plush of some kind. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you do have a good rest of your day. Yeah, I'll see you on Friday. So like, yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I'll see you then. Bye.